So I've played about 20 rounds of Halo Infinite's Firefight. I want to preface this by saying, I think that that's still not enough time to give a full review. I just want to give an initial review. And later down the line, if things change, I can update that. So in a cliche, typical review fashion, I'm going to give you the pros, the cons, but I'm not going to give you uglies. I'm going to give you what I'd like to see or what they can improve on. In my first impressions video, I said that it was a lot of fun. And after playing, I kind of love it. This is so much fun, dude.
Oh, hell yeah. I like where it's not sweaty.
And I can kind of chalk it up to a couple of reasons. The pacing of it just feels good. Halo Infinite's gameplay mechanics are as smooth as butter, and everything just kind of works. Killing enemies just feels satisfying. I think the King of the Hill aspect of it, it feels fresh because it switches up the gameplay. It gives you an objective, something to do. I do also have that game mode in the cons section too, and I'll get to that later. I think for what this is, the game length is perfect. It's not too short, and it doesn't drag on forever either. I grabbed some of my mates to play last night, and they're not huge Halo fans, but they really enjoyed this. The version we played, the difficulty was scaled pretty well. It wasn't too punishing, it was just kind of right. Speaking of things they've really done right with Halo Infinite's Firefight, the equipment. It fits in seamlessly with the gameplay. I'm really glad that 343 had the foresight to make the grappling hook the default equipment. The grappling hook overshines everything in Infinite. By them making that unlimited use, and you can kind of Spider-Man around and give yourself an extra mobility kind of boost, I think that works really well in Firefight. It makes the game feel more fast-paced and more enjoyable because you can zip around and that sort of thing. And the campaign callbacks that they've added for the boss fights, amazing integration. I think that works very well. It's super enjoyable at the end of the game that everyone is focused on the bosses. I love how they've made all the bosses different from each other. They're not the same cut and paste sort of bosses. So you have like Escharum, you have the Blade Master, you have Hunters. I believe there was also a Brute Squad. Or you just get flooded by a whole bunch of enemies. It's just a great way to finish out the round. I feel that all these elements that they've added to Firefight, 343 have made a lot of good choices, and I tip my hat to them for that. I'm going to raise my hat right back up because there are some cons that I think take away from the experience as well. So earlier I said that the King of the Hill aspect of it was really fresh and really well done. However, something I've already noticed is players are tending to move around and shoot enemies. They're going out and hunting enemies sort of thing, which can leave you in a situation where you're the only one defending the hill. I feel like they could fix this by having the hill always moving sort of thing, not just being stuck in one spot. Something else I'd like to see changed is having the option to change the difficulty in custom games. It's great that there's heroic and legendary firefight, but you know, I'd like to just kick back and mindlessly dominate the banished. Like I said before, some of my mates aren't huge Halo fans, and having heroic and legendary being the only options to choose from, it might push those sort of players away from the game mode itself. Something I would also like to tackle here, I know this isn't a Firefight specific problem, but I want to add this anyways. Playing Firefight on 200 ping just feels off. Yeah, that's another thing that sucks about it being online only, is we're going to be playing on 200 ping minimum.
You reckon?
Yeah. When you have that half-second delay when you throw a grenade or something like that, it's a frustrating thing. I understand most of the player base are on the North American servers, but for players like myself who live on the other side of the world, this is a biggie. I would like it more if we were prioritized for lower ping games. Let's wrap up on the cons. Here's what I would like to see. I feel like it would be very beneficial if there was a bit of breathing room before each round, so you have time to collect equipment, weapons, that sort of thing. So that way it would be good that the enemies don't just jump on the hill right away, and you don't feel like you have to rush to the hill and don't have time to do anything. I'm of the opinion that King of the Hill needs to be a side mode. I want the option to fight endless waves again. Just go as long as you can. You know, sometimes you just want to put some music on or a podcast and just shoot shit. Another thing I think they could improve on for this version of Firefight, it's more of a Halo Infinite issue in general, but the HUD icons for the hill and weapon drops, they blend in too much. At the start of each round, it kind of took us a little bit to realize where the hill actually was. So maybe drop the unnecessary icons and make the important ones more noticeable. On my last video, I got a comment saying that they would like to see the flood in Firefight. I'm sure as time goes on, 343 will add more things to this mode. I'm sure we'll see the flood, I'm sure we'll see endless waves. I'm sure that's something that they might even consider. Like I said in the pro section, I'm glad 343 had the foresight to make the grappling hook the default equipment. However, with equipment, it would be cool if there was a way to cycle through them. The grapple's really strong, everyone wants to use the grapple, but if I want to pick up a regen shield, I can't really Spider-Man my way back to the hill. And I've even accidentally used equipment thinking that I've got the grapple. Just like in the campaign, how you can cycle through your equipment. But yeah, so good so far. Are you playing Halo Infinite's firefight? What do you think of it? Leave a comment and let me know. Anyways, until next time, look alive, you're on in 5. Later, guys.